Welcome. Those are tapping in. Thanks for joining. Oh my goodness. What is it? Caesars inbox. Hmm. Okay, I got to load. Thanks for joining. Sorry, y'all. I technically kind of lost my voice after the studio. The enemy been riding my neck so hard this year. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. If y'all can relate, comment. If y'all can relate when you're doing God's business, you're gonna know it because the enemy don't like when you do God's will. Oh my gosh, he don't like that. He don't like it. But hey, that don't stop us though. We're gonna continue to push on. That's weird. Okay, so primary, that's what I'm looking at. So if y'all can relate that this year been rocky, like it up. Like it up. This year been rocky. I lost a lot this year. I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot. But you know one thing? I didn't lose my faith. No matter what I was hit with, I kept pushing. I kept trusting. I kept believing because I know that God remind me, without faith it's impossible to please him. Y'all know, right? It's impossible to please him without faith. And faith, the size of the mustard seed, faith. I'm looking for something in my email and I can't seem to find it. It's kind of weird that it was in my email, but it's weird I don't see it. Huh. Oh, I see why. I'm in the wrong email. I'm in the wrong email. That's why I can't find it. But if y'all been experiencing the same thing as for trials and tribulations, just know that you are on the right path. Definitely on the right path. Because why would the enemy be worried about something of someone if he already have them, right? If they're doing everything that he want them to do, he have no reason to worry, right? Why? Because he got them in check. That's why. When he got you in check, then he don't have to worry about you not fulfilling. Why keep sending me into this email? I don't want to be in this email. It keeps sending me in this email. Did I ask to be in this email? No, I did not. I be wondering what's up with these connections. The internet is so messed up. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I did. It's been a long rocky road this year. And to be honest with you, I'm so grateful that it's about to be over because I'm trying to see what the next year holds. Yeah, this connection is terrible. Oh my goodness, this internet is terrible. Hold on. Is that even connected to the right one? Like, come on. It's acting up right now. I don't know what internet it had me connected to, but that was some messed up connection. So I need to get into the other email But yeah, y'all, don't give up. If y'all been facing what I've been stating, don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep fighting. Keep trusting God. Keep believing. And I see in these times that we're living in that people are so quick to throw in the towel. They are so quick to throw in the towel. They are. And I'm here to tell you, don't give up. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you. It was times that I wanted to quit, but then God reminded me what He brought me from. So I can't quit, right? I can't quit. I can't quit. God brought me from a mighty long way. He did. So this fight is on. Y'all say to yourself, this fight is on. I'm not going to let the devil get the best of me. I'm not going to let the devil play with me. I'm not going to let the devil take from me. You know, it's a fight. And I know if it's a fight next year, Lord willing, that we see it, then it's a fight. Yes, it's a fight. Y'all can't give up. Y'all can't give up. You gotta trust God, right? We gotta trust God. You gotta trust God. No matter what it look like. No matter what it look like, we gotta trust God. Even though it's hard. It's hard. You know. But just know, if God woke you up, it's a reason why. And God don't make mistakes. God don't make mistakes. We do. People do. But God do not. So that reminds me that we got to hold on to our faith. We got to trust God. Even though it seems hard. Continue to trust Him. Continue to rely on Him. Continue to depend on Him. Surrendering to God everything that you have, everything that you own, surrender it over to God. It may sound easy the way I'm saying it, but you know, all things are possible with God. All things are possible with God. We can't do nothing on our own. We need God. And God is going to allow us to get through. If He brought you to it, He's going to bring you through it. Let me say this again. If God brought you to it, He's going to bring you through it. So don't let no one tell you different. Don't let no one tell you that you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time with your faith. You're wasting time on this God. You're wasting your time with your life. Only one knows that is God. God knows exactly what you need. God knows exactly what's best for you. Even when we think we know best, just know that we don't know best. God knows best. He knows best. And you know, that's exactly what He gives. He gives His very best. So I'm going to read on this topic called surrendering unto Jesus. We're surrendering unto Jesus Christ. I know that it can be hard to surrender. And I know a lot of people, they are struggling between lukewarm and holy. But you got to know that you wouldn't want no one to be, how can I put it? You don't want no one to be sometime or antisocial with you. You want someone to be real and authentic, right? That's how God wants. He wants the real deal of us, right? He wants us to be real. He wants us to be real. And being that he wants us to be real, he's expecting the very best from us. God give his very best, and we should give our very best, right? So in Galatians 2:20 says, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. So we are to live for Christ. We no longer, when we are buried with Christ, we no longer live for ourselves, we live for Christ. When you have became one with God, you're now living for God. You're no longer living for yourself. You're living for Christ. So that flesh must be put to death. That flesh must die. In order for us to be reborn, that flesh has to die. We got to die to self. When we become one with him, and it's amazing to come one with God. Do you know how many people that is really hurting right now? They are lost. They're losing their mind. They are. I've been seeing people lose their mind. It is terrible to watch. They are going crazy. They're going insane. It is not normal when it's a God that is here to save you, that's here to put you back together again, that loves you so much that he sent a sacrifice so you wouldn't have to die in your sin. I guess everybody don't see it that way. He sent a sacrifice because he loved the world so much. He loved us so much. And he sent his only begotten son so we wouldn't have to perish in our sin and go to hell. 2 Timothy 1:7 says this, for God have not given us the spirit of fear, but power, of love, and a sound mind. This is 2 Timothy 1:7. For God have not given us the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. So those that you see that's in fear, I'm telling you, we need to ask God to bring us out of that fear. I used to be in fear for years. I was in fear, deep fear, at the age of 18 years old. I was in deep fear. I remember praying to God. I would say, God, I want my driver license. I want my driver license. But I was afraid to drive though, because I did not want to be in a wreck. I didn't want to be in a wreck. So I used to pray, God, if you allow me to get my license, I want to be able to drive. Because I don't want to depend on nobody. I didn't want to depend on nobody to take me nowhere, right? Because you know, when you ask people to take you somewhere, either they don't feel like it, they don't want to, you know. So I like, God, I want to take my driver's test and pass it. And I prayed that prayer for years. You know, I did. I prayed that prayer for years. But I was in fear because I was afraid that once I get my license and I start driving, I wreck, right? But God literally took that fear from me. He took that fear from me. And I remember start driving. I started driving before I took my license, my test for my license. And I got the feel of it. And this is how the enemy works, right? So when it came down to me going on the roads, because I was just like driving around like around the area, so like in a circle basically, so like in a parking lot. But when it came time me driving on the street, I started getting nervous, really nervous. And then it went from me driving on the street, I started driving on the freeways. And I was like, oh my gosh, oncoming cars coming this way. I'm going this way. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I pray I'm going down the right way, because I was so nervous. I was so scared, because that's the fear I had inside. And I had to literally pray God to take the fear away from me, because I was in deep fear. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because I see Timothy, 2 Timothy 1:7, for God have not given us the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. So that fear was coming from the enemy. I don't know why I keep echoing. That spirit was coming from the enemy. It was. And I couldn't control it, right? I couldn't stop it myself. So I had to literally call on God to give me boldness, to give me a brave heart, because the fear was overtaking me. The fear was causing me to not want to do anything, because that what fear do. It keep you in silence. It keep you in a state of mind, I can't do this. But God says in the word, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. I had to lean on it. I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. And it's the truth. You can do anything that you trust in God to do. So it's not just wherever you put your mind to, it's what you trust in God to do, because you leaning on God's strength. You're dependent on God, because God want us to depend on him. God want us to trust him. Every time I found myself doubting, when I became all the way, when I came all the way with God, I used to find myself doubting, and God would say, "Don't you trust me?" I would hear these words, but it's silence. It's like a soft voice. It's a soft voice say, "Don't you trust me?" And I'm like, "God, I do trust you." So I had to trust God in that process, because like I said, I was in fear and I was afraid to drive, but I did want my license. So I got the hang of it. Even when it came down to driving on the freeways, that was scary. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was really scary. But God got me through it. God literally got me through it. I didn't let that stop me. I did not let that stop me, y'all. I kept trusting God. And you know what? Even driving first, I started driving first instead of trying to go get my license. But I'm glad I started out driving first, because if I would have tried to go and I did not know how to drive, that would have been bad. Right? That would have been bad. If I'm trying to go and get my license, but I did not know how to drive, that would have been bad. So thank God I learned how to drive first. And then, like I prayed, I said, God, I pray I pass my test. I went in there and I took the test. But before I took the test, the people was like saying, "Oh, it's hard. I failed it on the first try. Oh my goodness, I didn't pass." And I started getting nervous. I was letting them put fear in me, and I was started worrying. Right, I could not focus. I couldn't function, because I was listening to what they were talking about they fail it the first time. And I said, wow, if they fail it the first time, I'm going to fail too. Because I started letting it get to me. Instead of trusting God, what God said, it literally vanished. So I ended up taking the test and I flunked it because I was letting what the people were saying get to me. Talk about they fail, and I said, "Wow, if they fail, I'm gonna fail it too." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, how can I let the people get to me, right?" And I said, "God, I know I did not come all this way, and you're gonna leave me here." So that's how I know for sure. If God brought you to it, He's gonna bring you through it. He is. I say, God, I need you. I literally failed the test, God. I say, God, the next time I go up there, I'm gonna be focused. I'm gonna be focused. I'm not gonna let no one cause me to be distracted. I'm not gonna let nobody negative remarks get to me about they fail and stuff. I'm going in there and I'm gonna be concentrated. You know what I'm saying? I'm concentrated on passing this test. And so when I went back, when I felt I was ready, I returned and I gave that test my best shot. And I'm telling you, I passed it. I passed it. I would say yes. I said, yes, God, I passed. I was so happy. And I've been praying about this, y'all. I've been praying about it. Because I know, like, without God, nothing is impossible without God. Even when I went to take my CDLs, those tests are hard. Those tests are really, really hard. And, you can't fail. You can't miss nothing, and you expect to get your CDLs. You got to pass. You got to have a 100%. And I'm telling you, I was literally praying for that, and God literally came through. God allowed me to pass it. I can't keep coming back up here. So the first time I took it, I passed it because I knew that if I'll keep on taking this stuff, I'm eventually like, I can't do this. I'm done. Let me just go and do something else. But yeah, when you are trusting God, you got to know that God will not ever leave or forsake you. He will not ever leave or forsake you. God got you. Don't let no one put it in your mind that God don't care or God don't love you or God not listening. God hears. Trust and believe me. If you're willing to repent of your sins, God is willing to listen. Because I know when I dwell in my sins, and I had many of them, every time if I would have prayed about something and I'm wondering because it wasn't getting answered. And God literally told me, show me how can you ask me for something when you're not willing to do what I say? So if you asking for something but you're not willing to do what God is telling you to do, don't expect to get it. You got to be in obedience. God reward the obedience. You understand me? God reward the obedience. So if you see in yourself you being cursed on all areas, that's trying to tell you that you need to fix something. God is angry with the wicked, and we don't want to fall in that category. So Romans 2:4 says this: or despises though the riches of his goodness and forbearance and long suffering, not knowing that the goodness of God leadeth thee to repentance. God wants his people to repent. You know what I'm saying? He really wants us to repent. He don't want us to be dwelling in sin. And people thinking sin is okay, but I'm here to tell you that's not the case. Sin is not cute. Sin is not it. sin will separate you from God. So understand that sin is a serious matter. It is. It's a serious matter. When we are in sin, curses comes, sickness comes, different things comes. You don't know what gonna trigger when you're in sin. You don't know if you're gonna lose somebody that you love. You don't know if you're gonna lose a job, your house, your car. But I'm telling you, I am a testimony of that. When I fell deep in sin, I was losing a lot of things, y'all. For those that are watching, and for those that are gonna watch this live later, but I'm here to tell you, I'm the testimony of losing things. There's a lot of things that I was losing, a lot of things I was going through. It was a lot of stuff going on, and I was trying to figure out why I was going through what I was going through, and God was showing me sin. God was literally showing me sin. God hates sin. And being that we are a child of God, we must hate sin. If we don't hate sin, that means we are tolerating sin. If we don't hate sin, that means we love sin. And God hates sin. So being that God hates sin, we must hate it too. And we must love what God loves and hate what God hates. So Romans 12:1 says this: I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. I'm going to say this again. Romans 12:1 says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. We got to make sure our body is acceptable unto the Lord. We got to treat our body as a holy temple of God. This is the holy temple. It's a holy temple of God. So we got to treat ourselves like that. We got to be holy unto God. Be righteous unto God. Be God-fearing. Not many people are God-fearing in this world. Not many people are. It's very important to be God-fearing, because when you God-fearing, you respect yourself more. We respect ourselves more when we are God-fearing. People are so reckless. They're so rebellious. Y'all just don't understand. We got to get it together. This world is not going to last forever, y'all. This world is not going to last forever. So being that it's not going to last forever, we got to get right with God. Hold on, y'all. Not everybody want to surrender, huh? Like my song says, surrender. Not everybody want to surrender. Not everybody want to surrender. But we need to. We have to surrender. Because that's what God is looking for, a willing vessel. That is what God looking for. God looking for a willing vessel. He is. But we got to understand that God is not going to force himself on you. He's not. You have to want God. You, it's a need for me, you know, it's a need because I can't focus if I don't have God. I can't focus. So surrendering to Jesus Christ is so important. You know, people wait to the last minute before they surrender. They wait to the last minute before they literally surrender to Christ. And they'll find out, wow, there is such thing as Jesus Christ. So I'm going to go back over this. It's called Galatians 2:20. It said, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live, yet not I. You understand? Not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. So the vessel that we are in it, the vessel that we are in, the vessel that we are using is not our own. It is for God. So we don't have permission to do whatever it is we want to do. So you can't just say, well, I do what I want to do with my body. It's my body and it's this, it's that. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Your body, my body, anyone's body do not belong to you. It belongs to Jesus Christ. No matter how you want to accept it, it belongs to Jesus Christ. You know, we are his chosen children. So being that we are his chosen children, God do not want us to do the things that we see other people doing. All these piercings, it's no reason for that. It's no cause for that. You piercing everything over your face. That's not your body. You know, people can't even recognize people these days because they got so much piercings. Like, what is all that for? And I'm not judging nobody's appearance. I'm just telling you what I see. And I'm like, what is all that about? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, people be the first thing people say, well, that's my body. I do what I want. Technically, it's not your body. It's God's body. This is the holy temple of God. And God did not say that you can pierce all that. I had to get in line. I had to get my stuff together because I know that if I do what I want to do, that's disobedience. But if I do what God said do, I'm in obedience. 2 Timothy 1:7 says this. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Why are you in fear? Why are people falling in fear? Why are people allowing fear to overtake them? Why are you allowing fear to beat you up? Why are you allowing fear to master you? We had to overcome that fear. We had to get out of that fear. And God is the one going to bring you out of that fear. You have to come out of that fear. You got to ask God to remove you out of that fear. Because people, they are in so much fear that they can't even step out on faith. They in prison. They're stressed out. They don't know if they're coming or going. They are going in circles. They're making U-turns. They are making U-turns. They are making U-turns because they don't know where to go. So a person, if you're lost, you're going to continue to go in circles. You're going to continue to go in circles until you find your way. And God is that way. God is that way. He is that way. Romans 2:4 says, or despite thou riches of his goodness, forbearance and long suffering, not knowing that the goodness of God leadeth to repentance. It will lead us to repentance. When you are having that encounter with God, God is definitely gonna lead you to repentance. Because God don't want you to be in sin. God hates sin. Okay? God hates sin. He do. So being that God hates sin, we got to hate sin as well. We can't be loving sin and God hates sin. We can't be in love with something that God hates. When God hates something, we must hate it too. When God loves something, we must love it as well. I hate sin. I don't want to fall. I don't want to fall in sin. I do my best, my very, very best to not fall in sin. Do you understand me? I could have went backwards and start going back to the club. I didn't. I could have went backwards and started back smoking, but I didn't. I could have went backwards and started back drinking, because drinking was my thing. Drinking was a god. I used to drink all the time. I started drinking at the age of 18 years old. So I could have literally easily went back to drinking. But what they would have done for me, all that God did to bring me out of there, why would I want to go back? Why would I want to go back? It comes a time that you have to surrender to Jesus Christ. Not everybody want to surrender. They love this world more than they love Jesus Christ. I tell you this, I don't want materials. I don't love materials in a way that I'm going to let it come between God and me. You understand me? Materials, temporary things is not gonna come between God and me. Not ever. I'd rather Jesus Christ instead of materials. Because materials don't make me. Materials can't do nothing for me. Materials, I lost everything. At the age of 20 years old, I lost everything except for clothes. God was trying to show me right there. Would you still serve me even though you have nothing? Would you still serve me even if you lose everything that you own? Would you still serve me? Nobody know how it feels to lose anything until you really lose something. I lost everything except for clothes. Everything. So just imagine when you lose things. When people start going crazy over stuff, they start doing crazy stuff, that means you are in love with it. We cannot be in love with materialistic things. We can't be in love with things that God hates. Anything that is separating you from Jesus Christ, get rid of it. You got to get rid of the things that are separating you from Jesus Christ. If it's a stronghold, if it's something that causing you to lose focus, You need to reshift your focus to God. Because I'm telling you, the things I've been seeing in these storms, what God have been showing me in dreams, God said, I'm tired of these people, these children putting these things before me. And being that they putting these things before me, I gotta take it away. That's why the storms are coming, because people are putting their houses, their cars, their wives and husbands before God. And God is taking them away because they failed to surrender to Jesus Christ. They failed to submit. That's why you're seeing all these storms taking place, because God is tired of people putting things before him. What did God say? Well, the first commandment was, you should not have no other God before me. That was the first commandment that God had given. You should not have no other God before me. So understand this, y'all. When we put things before God, we are making that as an idol. We are idolizing it. Idolizing it. We are looking at it like a God. When God said, you should not have no other God before me. That's why it's hard for people to surrender. Because they're in love with the world. And when you're in love with the world, the love of the Father is not in you. The love of the Father is not in those that love the world. When you're falling in love with things that's material, when you're falling in love with things that God said not to fall in love with, we should not love the things of the world. God said that. You should not love the things of the world, but you should love the one that created you. People can't love the people that, people can't love a person that created them. But you loving things, you loving people that don't love you back. You loving people and you are literally going the extra mile for them. But they don't give nothing about you. They don't care about you. They're making you look stupid. They're making you look foolish. They make you looking like a dummy because you're literally bound down to them. God says you should not have no other God before me. You should bow down to Jesus Christ. Bow down to your Creator. Bow down to your Savior. Bow down to your King. Bow down to Him. Surrender to Jesus Christ. Stop surrendering to sin. Stop surrendering to lust. Stop surrendering to drugs. Stop surrendering to alcohol. Stop surrendering to people that is not God. Jesus wants us to surrender. He ain't forcing you. So when the time comes, don't get mad. Don't get mad when your judgment is hell. We brought that on ourselves. When God say, I never knew, depart from me, I never knew you. Because He's going to use those same exact words. Depart from me, I never knew you. Those words, you already know you are damned to hell. Them words right there, I never knew you. I never approve of you. I don't know you. Get away from me. Do you understand? Those words are powerful. Those words are eternal. Those words are sealed. Those words are action, and authority is behind it. That's why it's so important to surrender to Jesus Christ. This walk I take serious. My faith I take serious. I don't play games when it comes down to my faith. I don't play games when it comes down to my walk. So I don't let anybody around me, because I know if God don't approve of them, He's going to get rid of them. If God don't approve of you in my life, just know He will get rid of you. God don't play about me. I'm speaking for me because I only can speak for me. God don't play about me. If I join in with somebody that God don't approve of, God remove them quick. I don't even have to do it. I was the type of person, I didn't want to remove people out of my life like that. I was toxic, of course. I stepped in it and everything. I was toxic. When I was in the world, I was toxic. I stepped in it and everything because I was looking for love and in all the wrong places. I was looking to be accepted. I was looking to be acknowledged. I'm looking for all those things in the wrong places. And God wasn't having it. So he removed those people out of my life because he saw what I could not see. I was blinded to what God can see. Because you be like, what is you see that I don't see? God knows best. He's God. He knowing their intentions. But you don't know it. That's why when we are spiritually awake, we know then, because we are spiritually awake, God give us discernment. God give us understanding. God give us wisdom. God give us knowledge. You have to use that what God give you. So when God say, oh, that person not right for you, Chanel, get rid of him. You think I'm going to be questioning God? Why, God, why? No. I'm going to listen to what God says. God said, get rid of them. They got to go. They got to bounce. I'm not going to be entertaining no foolishness. Hey, life is too short for that. Especially, life is too short when you're sinning. Have you seen people just checking out of here? Checking out here out of nowhere. They just checking out of here. Falling dead. Going to sleep and not waking up. Come on. Life is too precious to be wasting time. You understand me? Life is too precious to be wasting time. Time wait for nobody. I be looking at the time all the time. Look here. If you ain't trying to go, if you're not trying to find God, then you wasting my time. If you're not trying to get right with God, you're wasting my time. I'm not going to waste my time on somebody that don't want God. You understand me? I'm not going to do it. God ain't ever said in the word to waste your time with someone that don't want him. Because at the end of the day, you're not God. You're a vessel. You ain't God. If they don't want God, you can't force it. You know what I'm saying? You did your part. You did what God said to do. And if it's not successful, move on. Give them to God. Because God don't force himself on nobody. You got to want him. We got to want God. We do. Romans 12:2 says this, and be not conformed, like I was saying earlier, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable, perfect will of God. We cannot be conformed to this world. We should not love the things of this world. We should love what God loves and hate what God hates. I'm not going to be conformed to this world because you know what? This world is not my home. I hate this world. I'm being real with you. I hate what's going on in this world because every time you're trying to address it, they're attacking. Every time I try to address it, I get attacked. So that tells you right there. They want you to get comfortable with they sin. I'm not going to get comfortable with nobody's sin. You understand me? I don't got to bow down to your gender. You ain't my God. You're not my God. Just because you want to practice homosexuality, I'm not going to be agreeing with you. I'm not going to be like, okay, it's okay. No, I'm not. Amen, sis. It's not okay. People want to support that mess. When God say to hate what he hate and love what he love, but people are basically loving what he hates and hates what he loves. We got to get it together. If we God's people, we are God's church, we need to start acting like it. We got to start acting like it. Too many people are lukewarm out here. What I mean lukewarm You want the world, you want God too. I was living that same life until I almost died. Almost died. Plenty of times. Plenty of times. Almost died. And God saved me every time. He did. He saved me every time when I was close to death. I'm supposed to been dead at 16 years old. I'm supposed to been died at the age of 16 years old. But because of God, mercy he had for me, God spared me. He literally spared me. Let me tell you my story. At the age of, I think the age, what age I was getting attacked by the enemy so bad. It started with migraines. Then it went from migraines to an eating disorder. Literally, I ain't shared this with nobody, but I had an eating disorder. I couldn't eat food. Only thing that I could eat when I was a little girl was candy. That's all I could eat. That's the only thing that my body would accept was candy. Candy, chips, and drinks. I could not eat no food. Food was disgusting to me. Very disgusting. I remember as a little girl, my mom used to always tell me that, girl, you need to eat. Stop throwing your food away. Stop wasting your food. But the enemy would not allow me to eat because he was trying to kill me. He was trying to kill me. Do you understand me? He was trying to kill me. Literally. So I was like 19 years old battling with this. And I was losing so much weight. I had worms and all that. People would not know what kind of worms, but I had type worms. I had worms all in my body. My mom had to take me to the hospital because they was eating my insides up. Every time I go to the restroom and use the bathroom, I would see it in my poop. I ain't trying to be disgusting, but I'm just saying I would see it in my poop, and I used to wonder what that was crawling in my poop. I had so many type worms inside of me because I was eating a lot of junk. I could not eat food. When I see food, sis, I would get disgusted. I would get literally disgusted when I saw food. It used to make me sick and make me want to vomit because I didn't like the smell of it. I ain't like the look of it because I wanted candy so bad. Candy was my God. Candy was my God. I used to eat candy for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and supper, y'all. That's the way I used to eat my candy, and I'm not lying to you. I did. I couldn't get enough of it. The sugar, it was so good, and I couldn't let go of it. And the candy was making me sick. I'll be vomiting everywhere. And my mom was crying. She say, baby, if you don't eat, you're gonna die. And I was dying. I was literally dying. I was dying in her arms. And she said, you need to eat. I want you to eat for me. And I'm like, Mom, I can't, Mom. It makes me sick. Looking at it makes me sick. Just smelling it made me sick. I said, Mom, I can't eat. I had to literally force myself to eat. It was terrible. It was terrible. But I knew at that time, if I didn't eat no food, I was going to die. I literally was going to die because I was so bony. Man, I was so skinny. Man, you could see my bones. Like people would make fun of me when I go to school. They made fun of me so all the time. They always say, "Oh, you skinny. You like sticks and stones may break your bones." They used to always say that sticks and stones may break your bone and all that. They're like, "You so skinny. You like a stick. You look like a one little skinny stick." And I got tired of them teasing me. Yeah, they used to always say how skinny I was because I wasn't eating. And I even had strength like that. I was falling out, I was like just sick. I was basically wasting away. And I knew I had purpose. I knew God had purpose for me because, just how my life was beginning, I had a voice for God to sing, I sound so good that I used to attract a crowd, I attract attention. I used to have the whole church, like literally, wow, this little girl, who is this little girl? How she sounds so beautiful. Literally, they used to always want me to sing at church. And the enemy knew that. The enemy wanted me to, he knew the purpose that God has for me. He was trying to crush it. He was trying to crush it. He was trying to stop that plan that God had for me. That's why I couldn't stop eating candy. That's why I couldn't stop eating junk food. It was hard. It was so hard. And I literally had to depend on Jesus Christ. Because if it wasn't for Jesus Christ, I'm telling you, I would have been gone. Do you know what candy do to you? What sweets do to you? That stuff takes you out. If you ain't eat no food, what you expect to happen? Like it literally caused me to just like decay. Like I was wasting away. Like my mom can just pick me up with one hand. Like literally, I was like a feather. That's how I was like a feather. I was so, that's in my book, my life story. That's in my book. I was literally going through it. Like it damaged my teeth and all of that. That candy damaged my teeth. And I had to get it fixed. I'm like, Lord. I was just like, I was so embarrassed. I couldn't even smile. It was so bad. Because the candy literally took effect on my teeth and on my health. And like I said, I was so weak, you know. And I remember when I started eating, I started getting my strength. I started being able to go outside and play and not pass out, or my stomach bothered me. I used to have stomach pains and used to feel sick and stuff. When I started eating and stuff, I started getting my strength back. I started being able to play, but the migraines didn't stop. I bet you got the heater on. I did. I did. I did have the heat on. You have to come in here and say that. But yeah, I was like, the migraines didn't stop, but but the heat, I'm saying heat. You got me distracted right now. You got me distracted, y'all. I'm so sorry. Oh God. Oh my God. This man. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I was like, the migraines didn't stop, but me being sick in my stomach, being sick and stuff from the candy, it literally went away when I started eating. But I had migraines since I was a little girl. Like it was bad. I ever thought, should a child ever have migraines? Can y'all answer that? Do a baby supposed to have migraines? I was technically a baby, and I was having bad. My God, like it was so bad, Lord God. It was so bad. I'll be crying, and nobody would know how I'm crying. It used to be so bad, y'all. The migraines would be so much pressure. I ain't ever thought a baby's supposed to have migraines. But I was technically a little girl, like 3, 4, 5 years old, and having migraines. I didn't ever thought that a baby should have migraines. But I was having migraines at a young age. And I didn't know why was this happening. It was just hurting my head so bad. Like it lasted for years, y'all. It lasted for years. I remember 12 years old. I won't ever forget it. I was 12 years old, and I was outside playing because I used to always want to go outside and play because I didn't want to be in the house like that. And I like to skate. That was my thing, skating. Playing in the dirt, climbing trees, jumping off of houses. I did all that crazy stuff. I liked it. And I remember one day I was out playing. It was hot outside, And my mom, she got tired of me going in and out because I was going for water. So she locked the door. She said, "You're not going to be in and out of my house." I know back in the day, if the 80s babies, maybe the 70s babies can relate to this. If you going in and out someone's house, he said, "If you don't stop in and out my house, they lock the door so you can't come in." He said, "What happened?" She locked the door. I couldn't even go in the house. She said, "You come in, you're gonna stay in." I'm like, I don't want to stay in. So I'm like, I'm just gonna have to suffer out here, right? So I literally had to stay out. I had to stay outside and just suffer, right? And my head started to hurt real bad. My Whoo, boy, my head was hurting so bad. It was from the front to the back, but the back was hurting really, 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 really bad. It was hurting really, really bad. It was just like something I couldn't deal. Like I couldn't even hold my head up. I was like this. Oh my goodness, it was terrible. I couldn't even hold my head up. I was like this. So the little girl wanted to play with me. She was 6 years old. I was 12. I say, "Sweetie, I don't play with children your age. Y'all just being straightforward, honest." I'm like, I don't want to play with children your age. I'd rather play with someone older than me or either my age. And she was like, but she like her mom was trying to make it seem like it's okay. She just a little girl. Like, I understand she a little girl, but I don't play with nobody but below my age. But I was playing with her. I started feeling bad. I said, I can't even play with her. I don't feel good. I just thought I was feeling bad. I was laying out on her porch. When I tell you I was laying on her porch, I went to sleep. That's how bad I was hurting. I ended up going to sleep. And I couldn't even handle the pain that I was feeling. Like I like, oh my goodness, like I need something to take this away. And I slept for hours on her porch. I ain't gonna lie to you. I slept for hours. I could not even bear to play, to even focus at that. I asked the security guard, "Who told you that I was a pastor?" He started laughing and said, "Don't worry about it, Mark and Demon." Oh my goodness, for real? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a demon in him. He laughing. That's a demon. That's a demon present. I'll be careful with that. I'll be careful around people like that. Cause I came across people like that in my life. They're literally really evil. Very evil. And it's not good. Yeah, he very demonic. Yeah, that's demonic. I wouldn't want to be around nothing demonic. Cause those spirits can get on you, but they can't get in you. Cause I had spirits get on me, and I had to shake it off because I'm telling you, those spirits they be trying to get on anything they can get on. You better keep your distance. That's why God say to be separate yourself from those people. Don't be inclined with those people. Don't be in worship. Don't be in no communication like that. Because they'll say words to try to curse at you, try to curse your life. I don't want to be around nobody like that. I don't want them demons getting on me, and I got to get them off. Like, I ain't kind of go through all that. So stay your distance, stay over there. Yeah, you keep your distance, I keep mine. Like, literally, stay over there. I don't want them problems. You understand me? I don't want them problems. So yeah, yeah, it was crazy because I was like literally suffering up there. And I didn't understand why little children would have migraines. But yeah, I had migraines since I was a little bit of girl. So just imagine what you go through when it come down for Christ. When he departed, he said, "Persecute and left again." Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so I was like, wow, that was crazy.
But I know that it's so important to surrender to God. I'm a testimony. Like I said, I'm a testimony. I'm here for a reason. Like I said, I could have died as a little girl because, like I said, I ate so much candy that I was literally dying. I literally ate a lot of candy. Like I said, I had it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, supper, and snack. I ate it all the time. I remember for Christmas when I was celebrating Christmas as a little girl. Uh, my mom was working for the church, and they had gave us a lot of gifts. I was so, I was so happy on them gifts because I got tired of opening up baby dolls. I hated dolls. As a little girl, I hated. When I say I hated dolls, I hated dolls. I say I don't want another doll. I am tired of dolls. Stop giving me dolls. I don't like dolls. I hate dolls. I don't like them. I don't like them because not just I wasn't like girly. I wasn't ever girly. But the time when me not really liking dolls was my auntie was practicing witchcraft and voodoo. She was practicing witchcraft and voodoo, and me as a little girl, I had connection with God. I was in tune with God. I love God. I literally sung for God. I literally was connected to God. And when she saw me, she was like, "Oh, I got a doll for you." And I'm like, I didn't like dolls. I say, no, thank you. I say, I don't want a doll. She said, take it. This is for you. And she said, I got them from New Orleans. I said, well, I don't want it. I told her just like that. I ain't ever been to New Orleans ever in my life as a little girl. I said, I don't want it. I told her just like that. She said, well, you better take it. I said, no, I don't. My mom basically made me take it because me and her was going back and forth. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, I don't want it. I was the type of person, I was very outspoken. I spoke how I felt. I spoke if I don't want something, I tell you straight up. I don't want it. She said, well, you gonna take it. I said, no, I'm not. Because God was like literally letting me know that this thing is demonic. I'm looking at these dolls, and these dolls did not seem normal. It didn't seem like the doll you buy out of the store. These doors was fixed. These doors was fixed. And God was telling me in my spirit that something is wrong with them dolls. I said, I don't want it. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. She said, no, you're going to take it. And she would tell my mom, and mom had me to take it. I said, oh my gosh. Then she gave me a bear, a teddy bear. It was a white bear. I won't ever forget. It was a white bear, and it had big eyes. I said, "Oh my gosh! I never see a bear that looked like that." I said, "I don't want that bear." She like, "You can take this bear." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So this is what I did. So when I took the bear, the doll, I literally had it sitting on the couch in my grandma's house. Right? I sat it on the couch. I said, I don't want nothing to do with this stuff. I sat it on the couch. I will never forget this day. I sat it on the couch. Then me and my cousin went out to side to play. And I'm hearing my name. My grandma calling me. Get in here, girl. And I'm like, what the world is going on in now? Get in here right now. You know the old folks, how they talk. Get in here right now. I'm like, Lord. So I went up in there. She say, girl, that thing looking at me. I say, what thing, Grandma? That bear. You need to get that out my house right now. I said, oh my goodness, what did I start? She said, if you don't get that out of my house, I was like, ooh. I said, Grandma, where I supposed to take you to? Anywhere except from this house, right? So I took it out. I told my cousin, I said, Ken, we need to go destroy this thing. We need to get rid of this thing. So we went to go try to get rid of it. I was beating it. You know how children can be. I was beating. I was giving a good old butt whooping. I was beating. I said, we about to destroy this thing, right? We beating it. We trying to cut it. We couldn't even cut it. Man, no, I was like, we couldn't even cut it, man. I mean, we was cutting it, and he couldn't even cut. I said, what is this? I'm beating it with a stick and everything. We kicking it. We doing everything we possibly can do to destroy it. I think we even burnt it. We tried to burn it, but man, this stuff was hard. So, I believe my stepdad came along. He said, y'all gotta bury it. Cause we couldn't think of what to do. My mom was like mad. I said, Ma, I told you I didn't want this thing. I said it's causing problems. So I don't know, but we try everything we could try. So I'm still with this thing because I can't seem to get rid of it. And I'm going to my I end up going to my auntie house. And I sat it on the couch again. Cause I didn't want nothing to do, no dealings with it. I didn't want it. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to hold it. God knows I'm not lying. I ain't want nothing to do with this thing. I just put it on the couch. And we up there dancing for God and stuff. And my auntie ended up noticing it. She say, niece, that thing looking at me. I say, what? No. I was like, no, it's not looking at you. And then she said, yes, it is. Just say your mother, husband. Just say your mother. Yeah, my mama, yeah. My husband. Yeah. And so I say, no, it's not looking at you. She said, yes, it is. Honey. Honey. When you come home, just know. Just know. Just know we're not going there, mister. We are not going there. Okay? But anyways, so I say, no, I say, it's not looking at you. She said, yes, it is. So I end up looking, and sure enough, that thing was looking. Oh my goodness. It was looking. It was looking. I was like, oh my goodness. And it was so much going on. She said, you got to get that out of my house. You got to get that out of my house right now. That thing got a spirit. And I'm like, oh, shoot. It had a spirit. It had a demon spirit, a bad spirit, a devilish spirit. It was demonic. It was demonic. Very demonic. So I had to get it out of there. And oh yeah, it then the door was doing the same thing. The door was looking evil stuff. Like it had like a spirit in the door. See, the door was observing, looking and stuff, and it was just evil. And he said that the eyes was rolling the back of his head. I like, oh my God. The eyes was rolling the back of their head. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I got tired of having it. I said we need to get rid of it now. I thought, and I ain't ever thought we can get rid of it. I'm serious. I'm be stuck with this thing forever. Thank God I wasn't. It wanted me bad. It wanted to stay with me. I like, no, I gotta get rid of you. You gotta go. So we buried that thing. We buried it. We buried it. I was so happy when that thing got buried. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm free. Yes. I think that what brought me sickness though. That thing, it brought me sickness. Because I had it in my present for a while. And it brought all kind of stuff, and that's why they were saying you got to get rid of that, because it was doing all kind of stuff in her house, and she didn't want it in there. Like they said, you got to get this out, we got to get rid of this. I'm like, yeah, we had to. But yeah, we had to just destroy it. But yeah, I was like, my God. I want to read these scriptures here. Oh, it says Mark 8:35 through 37. It says, for whosoever would save his life, I was speaking about this yesterday. For whosoever would save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel, you understand me? For my sake and the gospel, the same shall save it. So those that you've seen as being persecuted, people are not really ready for persecution. You understand me? Not many are ready for persecution. Persecution is already on the church. And persecution about to be nationwide. You understand me? There are going to be a lot of heads decapitated. You understand me? A lot of heads is going to fall for the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm just letting you know right now. A lot of heads are going to fall for the gospel of Jesus Christ. That is real persecution. That is real persecution when you have to die for your faith. That is already here. You understand me? But it soon will be nationwide. People gonna have to make a decision. Who are they gonna serve? You understand me? That's why God say, choose who you're gonna serve. For me and my house, we're gonna serve the Lord. So when that time comes, who are you gonna serve? Who are you gonna bow to? Who are you gonna be faithful to? God said, be faithful to the end and receive the crown of life. So whoever you are faithful to, it is sealed in that moment. You understand me? It is sealed in that moment. So when it come and take you out of your home and 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 punish you, whip you, whatever it is that they're gonna do, you have that time right there. Is you gonna die for Christ or you're gonna save your life? So it's up to us, church. I'm speaking. It's the truth here. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I'm telling you what it is. Persecution is coming. God showed me this. He literally did. They are people, they're raising up groups right now. The groups are being raised up, violent groups, people in gangs. They are gang. It's a gang. And they are taking a lot of Christians out. That's why they're observing our posts. They're observing our lives. They are monitoring everything. They're trying to see who is of God and who is of the devil. So the ones that is of God, they're coming after us. They're coming after us. Be ready. God already showed me this. They are coming. And I see how they're going to be very disrespectful when they enter. Ain't no knocking at the door. They are barging in. You know, someone they'll knock because they're respectful. These people are not going to be respectful. You understand me? They're not going to be respectful. They're going to be violent. They're going to be they're going to be very evil and violent and impatient. So they're barging in disrespectfully, and they're taking those that they see that have been in worship, those that they see that have been that have a Bible. Soon they're gonna have a Bible, and it's gonna be a crime to pray. You understand me? How would I know these things if God don't tell me these things? It's gonna be a crime to pray. It's gonna be a crime to worship. It's gonna be a crime to study the Bible. You're gonna be killed on sight. You will be killed on sight if you are caught in that act. They call it an act. If you're caught in an act of worship, if you're caught in the act of studying the Bible, if you're caught in the act of fellowship, you will be killed on sight. They will be killed. They will be killed. So y'all see how real it's getting. I'm not talking about real persecution here. I ain't talking about that persecution when you are you lost everything. I ain't talking about that. That's not the persecution I'm talking about. The persecution I'm talking about where you got to literally lay your life down. You got to make a decision quick. You know, them people not going to be sticking around like, oh, what you going to do? Oh, we giving you 24 hours. No, you better make a decision right then and there. Who are you going to serve? Are you going to die for Christ? Or are you going to save your life? Because you know, it's so many people that claiming Jesus going to be the one that said, oh, I denounce my faith. I denounce my faith. I don't want to die. I don't want my family to die. We denounce our faith. We denounce our beliefs. We don't believe in Jesus Christ. We don't believe. We don't follow that God. They're going to be quick to denounce their faith because they're afraid to die. They did not know that was coming with their faith. This was coming with the walk. This was coming with the, die to self. This what comes with following Jesus Christ. That's why it's so important to surrender. This all leads to surrendering. Surrendering your life to Christ. And the rest of it say, what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? People are selling their souls for Happy Meals. People are selling their soul just for sex. People are selling their souls because they want to be popular on the internet. I don't want to be popular. I don't care to be popular. Just this one view right now, I'm happy with that. Even with 0 view, I'm still going to talk. I got 0 views on my YouTube. I'm still talking. They ain't stopping nothing. I'm still going to talk. Because I do this for Jesus Christ. I don't do this for me. People are doing stuff for them because they want the praise. They want the acknowledgement. They want the attention. They want to be acknowledged. They're not doing it for God. They're doing it for them. So when we do things for ourselves, it's in vain. It's not unto God when we're doing it for ourselves, right? When we're doing it for God, it's for God. God is to get the glory and the praise. I do this for God because I want God to get the glory and the praise. I don't want to be praised. I don't want to be worshiped. I don't want all that attention. You understand me? I want your focus on God. I want you to have the focus on God. Go into your secret place. Go into your secret place and be intimate with God. Stop being intimate with sin. Stop falling in love with sin and fall in love with God. For what shall it profit a man? I had to read this again. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? People are giving up so much for the change of their soul. They want to be worshipped. They want attention. They want money. They want homes. They want cars. God is going to take their stuff away. God is about to take everything that separates you from him away. God is taking it away. If you put your job before God, He's taking it. If you put your home before God, He's going to take it. If you put your car, your lover before God, He's taking it. God is going to take it. God is tired of people putting things before Him. You understand me? God is not going to sit back and continue to tolerate that mess. God said you should not have no other God before me. People don't understand. Whatever you put before God is your God. Whatever we put before God is our God. So if you find yourself putting your man before God, that's your God. I did that. I literally did that. When I put man before God, I was not blessed. I was going through so many hardships, so much struggles, so much depression, so much stress. I didn't know what I wanted in life. I was so, my mind was clouded. If anyone can relate to that, let me know. My mind wasn't where I needed it to be. I couldn't think for myself. I could not function. I was so blinded. I was blinded. I couldn't see what God was trying to show me. When you put people before me, this is what happens. When you put things before me, things start getting, God starts taking things away. I was losing everything. I'm like, how I just lost this? I just got this. Money would just fall through my hands like water. You know how when you go in the restroom or maybe in your kitchen, you wash your hands. That's how water was going through. That's how money was going through my hands, like water. I couldn't even save. I couldn't even save $1. Not even 50 cents. Things were just going so crazy. I couldn't even focus. Something just wanted me to spend all my money up. Something just wanted me to just do things that cause a distraction. When God trying to get my attention, I can't seem to pay attention. So you got to understand, you got to be careful who you surrender to. Because people are not understanding that they're surrendering to the wrong things. Where you can surrender to sin, you can surrender to hate, you can surrender to lust, you can surrender to anger, you can surrender to confusion, you can surrender to your man, you can surrender to your woman, it just, you got to be careful what you surrender to. And surrendering is very important. You got to surrender everything to God. We got to surrender everything to God. You can't be half-stepping when it comes down to God. We can't afford to half-step, y'all. The world that we are living in, the stuff that's happening right now, the things that's taking place right now, persecution is here. Persecution ain't going nowhere. For those that hope it's not going nowhere. Okay? Persecution going to increase. Soon, it's going to be heavy on the United States. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be popular. You know how you see people, they're so popular. Everybody's following them. Everybody is showing love to them. Everybody seem to be worshiping them. You know what I'm saying? Popularity. People want to be popular. People want to stand out. Well, persecution going to be popular. It's going to be popular. And it's going to be talked about all over around the world. People are going to be persecuted. And you know who they're going to put to be persecuted first? The Christians. Yep. The Christians. Because they fear the Christians. They fear their faith. They fear who they worship. They fear what they do, what they are capable of. They fear of Christians. The real Christians. I'm not talking about the people that pretend to be Christians. I'm talking about the real Christians. Because a lot of people, they claim something that they're not. You understand me? Wolf in sheep clothing. They pretend to be something that they're not. So I'm talking about the real Christians. The one that really follow God. That do the will of God. That's about God's business. That people don't play when they come down to God. They take their walk serious. They take God serious. They take their faith serious. They take all containing to the Lord serious. So I'm talking about the real Christians. I'm not talking about them confused people. Oh, I don't know if I'm Christian or not. I don't know if I believe in God or not. Is God real? Do God exist? I am not talking about the confusion people. I'm talking about the people that really know that God is real, that have encountered God for themselves. Them the people that the enemies are coming after. You know, we need to put them to sleep. We need to put them down. We don't want them to continue to affect other people. Is basically what they said, to infect other people. We don't want them to brainwashing this world with their beliefs, with their God. We don't want that. So they're coming after the Christians, you understand me? They're persecuting the Christians. They want to get rid of the Christians. So only person that's left is those that live how they want to live, do what they want to do, serve Satan, bow down to Satan, be about Satan business. Them the ones they want to be running this earth, They don't want Christians on this earth. So persecution is here, and it's on the church. It's happening. It's happening. It is happening. We have to prepare. So when you decide, oh, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I'm going to save my life. I'm going to save my life because I don't want to lose my life, right? Just know what you choosing. You choosing the devil. When we say, I don't want to die for Jesus Christ, I don't want to lose my life, just know who you're accepting. You're accepting Satan. Guess who you're accepting when you like, oh, I changed my mind. I don't want to die. Oh, I didn't know this was gonna happen when I served God. Oh, I didn't know this persecution was gonna come up on the church. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to die. I don't want to lose my life. I don't want my family to die. No, no, no. I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I denounce. I denounce. James 4:8 says this. Draw not to God, and he will draw not to you. Do you hear those words? Draw not to God, and he will draw not to you. So if you are not trying to draw not to God, don't expect God to draw not to you. Draw not to God, and he will draw not to you. Clench your hands. You understand me? Clench your hands. Ye sinners, and purify your hearts. Ye double-minded. Ye double-minded. There's so many people are double-minded. They're so double-minded. They are literally unstable. They think a person with a double mind think they can live any way they want and still serve God. You understand me? They think they can live any way they want and still serve God. They think they can have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. They think that they can serve 2 masters. We can't serve 2 masters. Okay? We cannot serve 2 masters. You have to choose. I have to choose who I'm going to serve. You have to choose who you're going to serve. Because we cannot serve two masters. Nope. Can't. You got to make a decision. Who you going to be faithful to? Who you going to obey? Who do you love? Do you love sin or do you love God? Do you love sin over God? Who do you love? Because if we love God, we will keep his commandments. We will keep his commandments if we love God. People make it seem like, well, God don't care if I just listen to a little of this music, if I just take a little of this alcohol. Do y'all know that just a little bit turns to addiction? I know this for a fact. I've been there. I've done that. Just in taking just a little bit, it causes addiction. It do. If I would go in the casino and I just jump on the slot machine, oh, I'm just going to play a little bit. Then I start winning and I want to increase the money. So I'm going to put more in to gamble with. And I'm going to keep on feeding it. And I'm going to keep on feeding it. And I'm going to keep on feeding it until I hit it big. That's what happens when you just accept a little bit. I take a little sip of alcohol. Ooh, wow. Wow, this tastes good. So I'm going to keep on drinking it. And I'm going to keep on drinking it. And I'm going to keep on drinking it. And I'm going to keep on drinking it until I can't stop. When I take a little hit of the cigarette, that nicotine just got in me just that fast. The addiction came up on me just that fast. Soon as I started inhaling it, just inhaling it, my body gonna be used to that. My body gonna get used to that. Like, oh, I gotta have a cigarette right now. I need a cigarette. My body feeding for a cigarette. That what happens when you accept just a little bit. Oh, it's okay. God understand. Keep on thinking with that mindset of yours that God understand. Keep on thinking it. Keep thinking it that God don't care. Keep thinking that God ain't watching. Keep thinking that God is not going to do nothing. Keep thinking. Keep thinking with that delusional mindset. That brainwashed mindset. Keep thinking. Because we will find it out. We will soon find it out. So it's what to surrender to. So wherever you surrender to, you're going to be faithful to it. You're going to be faithful to it. You definitely will be faithful to it. Those that are having sex for the first time, they want to have it again. They want to have it again. Don't let people fool you when they say, well, I only did it once and I'm not going to do it again. Now, if God really want to save them from that, God can. But some people, they make a habit out of it. They get hooked that fast. Just imagine getting hooked on something that quick. And you was expecting to get hooked, but you got hooked. It hook you like a fish and it reel you in. And you say, wow, I'm not letting this one go. I'm not letting this one go. I want it. I'm going to keep it. So you see, you got to be careful what you surrender to. You got to be careful what you surrender to. Because you thinking, oh, it's just a little bit. It's not going to hurt me. All right. Let's keep on having that mindset. Let's keep on thinking, oh yeah, just because it's a little bit, it's not going to do nothing. The addiction is there. The addiction, the small thing turn into a big thing. I always know that. Something small can turn to something big very quickly. Very quickly, it could turn to something big. Not that you want it to turn to big, but it can. When I first started having sex, I couldn't get enough of it. It's the truth. So I say I'm just gonna do this one time. Then one time turn to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, when you start something, it gonna continue to go on and on and on and on. When I took my first hit on a cigarette, I smoked again. So whatever you start, just know it's gonna be a repeat. If you're not dependent on God for deliverance, you're not dependent on God to change you. You're trying to do it on your own. You're gonna fail. We're gonna fail when we're trying to do it on our own. And it's a testimony here. So whatever you are practicing, whatever you are faithful to, it's going to be hard to break from it. It's going to be hard to break from it. It's going to be hard. Surrendering to Christ is important. Surrender your life to God. Surrender everything to God. We have to be willing to surrender everything to God. You don't want to give God what you think he deserved to have. You understand me? You don't want to just give God what you think is owed to him. We need to give God everything. Everything that we own, everything that we have belongs to him. Everything. God wants all of you. He don't want some of you. He wants all of you. That's why it's so important to surrender. That's why God gave me the song, I Surrender. It was a reason why he gave me the song. He wants us to surrender. He wants us to surrender. He do. Surrender to Jesus Christ. Surrender to everything that God is saying to do. Surrender to his love. Surrender to the commandments. Surrender to the walk. Surrender to the faith. Surrender to the faithfulness. Surrender to this life. Surrender. Let's stop playing. Let's stop taking God as a toy. Because God is not a toy. We are not going to play with him like Monopoly. We're not going to play with him like a game of chess. We're going to take God serious. Because God is a serious God. God is not playing with this world. Do y'all see? He ain't playing. People are losing everything. Even their life. Because they playing with God. God is not a joke. God is not a joke. God is nothing to, no one to play with. We got to take God serious. Very serious, okay? So just know, when persecution comes, you have to be ready. When persecution comes, we have to be ready. Persecution is here, okay? Persecution is here. So when persecution comes on the church, it's going to put us in a position that we have to decide right then and there, who are we going to live for? Are we going to die for Christ, or are we going to save our life? That's the choice you have. Either you're going to save your life, or you're going to die for Christ. That's the persecution that I know of. That's the persecution I am preparing for. Do you understand? Because God could allow me to die many times. He could allow me to die at many times. The devil tried to take me out. But he spared me for a reason. It was told to me in 2015 that I needed to talk to his people. I wasn't even doing it at first. I was not doing it at first. I was serving his people. As for, helping those that are in need. But just using my voice, talking to people. I did not do that. But it was told that God wanted me to talk to his people. Because what I have to say is very important. Because you got to understand, when God sends someone to tell you things, it's important to listen. It's important to take heed to the message. It's important to take that serious. Take that in consideration. I hold on to that. I hold on to that. I hold on to the message that God is putting in his people to share. Because when that time comes, you will know I was warned. I was told. I heard of this. I heard of this. People told me about this. But I did not listen, huh? I did not listen. I didn't listen. I ignored what people were saying. I ran from what people was talking about. I ran like a coward. Because that's what cowards do. They run. They run from responsibilities. They run for what God is telling them to do. They got their mouth shut because they're afraid to be used by God. There's so many people that is shut mouth right now. They're shut mouth. They're quiet. And God is telling them, this is the time to speak. This is the time to talk to my people. This is the time that I need you to warn my people. This is the time. But people allowing that cowardness to rule over them. They're allowing the cowardness to rule
over them. That's what they're allowing. So being that the cowardness is ruling over them, it got them silenced. It got them silenced. My question is to Facebook and all social medias. What are you doing for Christ that stands out? What are you doing for Christ that stands out? Or what are you willing to do for God? The people that really follow God don't have a big following. They don't have a huge following. They're not popular. They're not famous. People that are really doing the will of God, they are not popular. They're not famous. They're not. They don't even get much viewers. They don't even get much viewers when they're literally led by Christ. When you led by Christ and you're speaking for Christ, you're going to get cursed out. You're going to get cursed out. You're going to get disrespected. You're going to get persecuted. Because you are literally being led by God. We're being led by God. So if you've been led by God, you're going to know it. And you know what? I'm about to delete everybody off my Facebook. I'm about to wipe my page clean. That's what I'm about to do. I'm about to wipe it clean. So those that really want to be my friend, you're going to come back. You're going to come back. I'm about to wipe it clean. Except for my spouse and my mom. It's going to be remaining. Except for my spouse and my mom. I'm about to wipe it clean. If you really want to be my friend, you really want to be on this journey with me, you're going to find me. You're going to find me. I'm about to wipe it clean. So even in my family, even if my family really want to be on this path with me, they're going to follow me. If my sisters that call me sisters want to be on this path with me, want to follow me, they're going to come back. If my brother that say they're my brother want to follow me on this journey, going to find me. That's what's about to take place. About to wipe this page clean. So by January, somewhere in January, I'm not giving a date. By January, this page gonna be wiped clean. I'm getting rid of everybody, everyone, except my spouse and my mom. So we're gonna see where God people really is, where His people really is. Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for God, real true church. I don't got time for the counterfeits. I don't got time for the fake. Because ain't no fake over here. Ain't no fake in me. I'm looking for the authentic. I'm looking for the real deal. I'm looking for the real deal. The one that say I support, they don't support. The one that say I want fellowship, because that's why I leave you on my page. If you want a fellowship, I leave you on that. If you don't want fellowship, then I don't want nothing to do with it. I really don't. It's no use to have someone on the page and you can't fellowship with. No good. But yeah, if you really want to be on my page, you know how to find me straight up. But right now, I have to. I used to do this every year. I haven't done it in a while. Wipe my page clean. Get rid of all the people that definitely not doing the will of God. They're definitely not in agreement with me. Yeah. God bless you. Stay prayed up. Keep God first at all times. Don't ever put him last. Always keep their door shut and locked. Don't allow that door to come open. Keep their door shut and locked. Because if you don't shut that door and keep it locked, the enemy gonna come in and he's gonna destroy you. God bless. I love y'all with the love of God. And I know y'all can understand why I gotta get rid of people that don't want God.